What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I did end up finally losing my front splitter, but I've got a new one and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to fix it. Stay tuned. So yeah, guys, at 125 miles an hour, I ended up losing the front splitter. If you didn't see the original install video, definitely go check that out. I will leave a link in the description, and I will also post a link at the end of this video, so definitely check that out, like I said. But let me show you what happened here. With all the coronavirus stuff going on, I got really bored in the house, so I decided to take the car out last Friday night, and I was hitting some back roads, and I decided to top this thing out, and at 125, the front splitter came off, and all it did is those self-tapping screws, they just pulled straight out. That's all that happened. So I've got a fix for it. I've got a new splitter in, so let me go grab that. Here's the new front splitter. It's the exact same one that I originally had on there. It came with the exact same hardware, but what I did differently is I ran up to Home Depot and grabbed some just regular bolts and washers and nuts. And so my hope is that these larger washers will add a little bit more surface area tension to keep this thing, up against the front bumper. My guess is that at 125 miles an hour, the downforce from the wind was just way too much, and it just pulled these self-tapping screws right out of there. So I'm hoping that with nuts on top and then these washers holding it up, it will keep that from happening. The other thing that I got, and I'm not even sure that I'm going to use these yet, but I did get some front splitter rods. I don't really care for the red color that is on there because it's more metallic, and the red that I have on there is just kind of a glossy red right now. But I may go ahead and put these on there and order some black ones or silver ones later on, but that's my plan. What I'm going to basically do right now is measure my original holes that I drilled for my self-tapping screws side to side, and go ahead and get my holes drilled in the front of the splitter so that everything matches up. I got both of my holes drilled. The only thing that I'm gonna have a problem with is these little edges on the bottom side because the washers aren't gonna fit on there. So what I'm gonna do is just take my little Dremel with my little cutoff wheel and just cut a little section out of this. I got both sides dremeled out, so now my washer can fit flush up against it. The centerpiece should be good to go, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it mounted up. I got the centerpiece on, it is lined up perfectly. So I'm gonna start working on these side pieces. The one part that actually did not break off whenever, the rest of the front splitter came off is these side pieces. And the reason why that is because I actually put these on with nut and bolt instead of the self-tapping screw. So I'm gonna get these old pieces taken off, and then I'm gonna start lining up the new ones. I got my two little side pieces off of the car, so the good thing about still having these is I should be able to just mock it up on the new ones and find exactly where I want to drill my hole. So I'm going to go ahead and get the hole drilled, and then I will use the existing hardware to mount that part of it back up, and then I'll work on connecting both side pieces to the center part. got both of the side pieces mounted up. It's just mounted in the back, like I said. So I'm gonna try to get both pieces mounted together now. I would like to be able to use the existing holes in the bumper that I've already made with the self-tapping screws, but I'm not certain that everything's gonna line up perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to measure everything out, and then I will get those holes drilled. And I'm gonna try to use bolts and nuts as well, but if I can't, I'll just go ahead and use self-tapping screws like I did originally. My biggest concern was using the bolts and nuts on the front. I've got everything mounted up, so I ended up doing 6 nut and bolts this time. So I've got obviously my bolt and nut back there, and then the one right here connecting the two, and then again the one you've already seen with the large washers right here that's actually holding the front piece on. So 6 in total, and then I did do 1 self-tapping screw on each side just for this little side piece in the center, just to give it a little bit more support. So that's all the screws or bolts that I'm going to do for this, and then I'm going to look into actually putting the splitter rods on the front here. The biggest debate I had right now was whether or not I wanted to put them over here on the sides on these little side pieces and just kind of connect them up there, or if I wanted to do it in the center. And I wish I would have showed you, but I had it mocked up with some tape. It was a little bit difficult to get it taped to the car, but I did it, and it just didn't look right over here off to the side. So I'm gonna do it on the center. Not to mention, if you actually look, the front piece is what actually angles down there. So that's what's gonna catch most of that wind and creating that downforce. So I'm gonna put it on the center. I'm gonna get it all mocked up, and then I will drill my holes and get it attached. I got the splitter rods on. I'm extremely happy with the way they turned out. I'm actually not disappointed with the color either. You don't really even notice that they're metallic. But one thing to note is I didn't film myself doing these top pieces. I simply forgot because I was having a really hard time finding reference points to measure from. And that's one piece of advice I can give anybody is you've always heard the term, you know, measure twice, cut once, but I measured and measured and measured and measured. And then I finally got my holes where I wanted them. But no big deal. I got them on and I think it looks great. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button while you're at it. And I will catch you guys next time.